second or two so we can edit before you start.
Did everyone hit record?
I want you guys to close your eyes. I want you guys to imagine, to go back to that day where you were learning how to read. That feeling of reading a word for what felt like ages, and that triumphant feeling of when you finally get it. When you finally complete that sentence that took you forever, and that joy you felt. You guys can open your eyes now. Some of you guys may or may not have remembered. But unfortunately, for over 781 million people, they'll never get that chance. They're illiterate. And what's disheartening is that we as Americans take that for granted. Because less than 62% of Americans actually read one book per year. And that's a number that needs to grow. Because I think reading is very important. I honestly love to read so much that when I hear this statistic, I get sad. Because there's so many different benefits, whether it be educational, emotional, or entertainment value, that you can get from reading. I want you guys to open the quotes I gave you. And I want you guys to read them. Can anyone tell me how their quote made them feel? I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Isabella?
I felt nostalgia since my quote was from the Phantom Tollbooth, and that was one of my favorite books in 5th grade.
Favorite books? That's one of my favorites too. Anyone else? Okay. Oh, Brian?
I thought my quote was really appropriate. It takes the theme of death and understanding humanity, and I thought that it was really genuine. It talks about how we should, instead of finding happiness, joy, and comfort, we still need to die a little every time someone dies, which shows that, like, even though we might be happy all the time, we still have to feel for others.
Exactly. And that's kind of the sort of thing I want you guys to feel. I want you guys to get feeling from the books you read. I want you guys to remember that although reading may not seem like fun at times, there are so many different things that you can take from it. A 2009 study at the University of Sussex said that 6 minutes of reading reduces stress by 68%. That 68% is something that you guys could have spent doing, that 68% is something that could have stayed with you while you guys were watching, say, TV or going out or listening to music, although that is relaxing. Actually calming the brain down by reading and taking that time to exercise your cognitive skills is actually really beneficial for you guys. A 2014 study by Dr. Anne Mangan of Norway's Stavanger says it also improves the emotional state of each person, as well as it encourages your brain to boost its memory. So not only are books fun to read, but they're also beneficial in ways of your health and improvement in school. When I gave you those quotes, I wanted to hear what you guys felt. And that's because when I read those books, I felt something different. And when I felt something different, I realized that when reading a book, everyone's going to feel something different. Everyone's going to understand what the book says, but everyone's going to react to it differently. I'm going to read a quote from one of my favorites, the one that Isabel had mentioned earlier, which is The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Jester. With your permission, said Talk, changing the subject, we'd like to rescue Rhyme and Reason. Has Azaz agreed to it? The mathematician inquired. Yes, sir, the dog assured him. Then I don't. He thundered again, for since they've been banished, we've never agreed on anything. And we never will. He emphasized his last remark with a dark and ominous look. Never? Asked Milo, with the slightest touch of disbelief. Never, he repeated. And if you can prove otherwise, you have my permission to go. Well, Maya said Milo, who had thought about this problem very carefully ever since leaving Dictionopolis. Then with whatever Azaz agrees, you disagree? Correct, said the mathematician, with a tolerant smile. And with whatever Azaz agrees, you agree? Also correct, young mathematician, nonchalantly cleaning his fingernails with the point of his staff. Then each of you agrees that he will disagree with whatever each of you agrees with, said Mile triumphantly. This is one of the things I love about books the most, is the fact that they're able to just take words and mix them together into something that makes your brain think and just makes you appreciate the value of words and communication and turn it into something that's also entertaining. And so when you guys go home today, or you guys just go back to your dorms, I want you guys to rediscover your love for reading. I want you guys to find out what it really means when you read a book.